was such a horrible noise. Okay. Hi guys, it's been I don't know if I ever have enough things in a month that I enjoy that I would consider like, oh, this is like my favorite of the month. So I was just gonna talk about the kind of media that I've consumed this month, and I've broken it down into 4 sections, and I'm using my Notion to keep track of it all, but basically I'm going to start with books and then movies and then TV shows and then articles, and books and articles can kind of go together because a lot of the books that I read I end up posting on like Substack. Well, that was the intention. I have a lot of things written and I just never seem to post them, but yeah. So I'm going to start with books, and only one of them, no, 2 of them I have copies of. So the first one is it's gotten a bit beat up, but this is my copy of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, and I reread it in April because I went through and I wanted to pull quotes and things from it because I'm writing an article for my Substack about chivalry again, I guess, because my undergraduate dissertation was on chivalry, and I just wanted to talk about how like Sir Gawain is used as a like chivalric idol basically, despite him not seeing himself that way and him not being perfect either. So that is on it will be on my Substack hopefully this week. Crossing my fingers, but I'm going on holiday, so probably not. And then what else have I read? It's right in front of me. I'll do the articles for this too just now. There's only 2 that I've managed to get through, and I've got 2 more and then I'll actually be able to like finish writing. But the first one is the 3 judgments of the ethos of chivalry in Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, so that's this one. And it's by J.J. Anderson, and it was published in 1990, which isn't to say that it's old, but a significant portion of the work that was done on chivalry and chivalric values was done pre-2000. So it's very difficult to find kind of modern research and articles and things that like looks at chivalry from different perspectives. So this, like, a lot of the articles that I've read have been very heavily male-centric, and that also comes in the second article that I read about violence as like courtly play in Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, and it's called The Cipher of Chivalry, Violence as Courtly Play in the World of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, and it's by Carl Gray Martin. And this one was written in 2000, or published in 2009, and both of these were published by the Penn State University Press. And I don't know, it's just like there's 19 years between these 2 articles and they both read basically the same, which might be controversial of me to say, but moving on. That's all stuff for kind of like more academic focused things that I wanted to write about. And then I really should have put all of this stuff in one spot, but I'm very bad at that and like planning when I'm going to film things, so who would have thunk? But I was reading some of this last night again. But so this month I also read Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, and I specifically only read the 1818 text, so this one has both. And I like every so often I found myself like comparing the two, but most of the time I was reading from the 1818 text that was unedited by Percy Shelley, just because, I don't know, I feel like it's better, and I feel like a lot of the things that Percy Shelley added to it didn't actually need to be there. So, and then I was just like going through and writing down quotes that I really liked. And one of my favorite ones is, "Life, although it be only an accumulation of anguish, is dear to me, and I will defend it." And I don't know why, but that quote has just kind of stuck with me the whole time. Like, I finished reading this about a week and a half ago, and that quote I kept coming back to. So I would highly recommend Frankenstein, and I don't know why it's taken me so long to read it. I thought I'd read it in high school, but I hadn't, so I'm glad I did. And then the only other things that I read were audiobooks. So, well, consumed, was Fourth Wing, hated it. I'd read a physical copy of it before, and then I listened to the audiobook while I was working, and I don't really know what I saw in it. It has merit, but like, I just kept thinking about everything that the author had like done and said about kind of not really caring about the cultures that she used in her work, and like a lot of the names are from like Celtic and Gallic cultures, and it really rubbed me the wrong way. And then like when you reread it again with that in your mind, you can kind of tell that she didn't really care, so that was not good. I don't even know if I finished it all the way. I think I got like 3/4 of the way and was like, I can't do this. And then I also listened to The Faithful Executioner, it's got such a long name. The Faithful Executioner, Life, Death, Honor, and Shame in the Turbulent 16th Century. That's by Joel F. Harrington, and I had never heard of it before, and it came up in my recommended somewhere. I think it was on Goodreads. And I was like, you know what? I'm not doing anything at work. I have free audiobooks, like I'll just listen to it. And it's very good. It's really good. It talks a lot about like the emotions behind executioner work, and like how executioners at that time definitely separated and distanced themselves from the work that they did, and you can tell based on how they write their like diary entries about the executions, the ones that did, obviously, because not every executioner wrote down, hey, I executed like 20 people today. But of the ones that did, those are the diaries that he was looking at, and a lot of them are so like methodical, and they write down the same phrases over and over again. And like now we know that that's a way to kind of distance yourself from something and compartmentalize so that it doesn't feel as bad, because there was a lot of law changes during this time as well, so executions became more frequent, and like they were killing people kind of left, right, and center, so they had to have some way to do their job without feeling the emotion behind it, and obviously that's like a horrible thing, but it's really interesting to learn about, so loved that. And then I watched TV shows, probably a few too many. I was a bit bored this month. I watched all of The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, mostly just because I've been on a real Game of Thrones kick, and I rewatched all of the original series of Game of Thrones throughout this year, and then I got to this month and I'd finished it all, and I was like, well, what do I watch now? And then that had come out and I didn't know, and so I kind of like binged it all in 2 days. It was very good. It was very short. I wasn't expecting the episodes to only be 30 minutes long. And then I also, because of that, rewatched some parts of The House of the Dragon. And I really like it. I just feel like The House of the Dragon is a bit slow. And I really like Rhaenyra before they switch her actor. And after that, I'm just kind of like, it's fine. right. Movies. I watch a lot of movies. I get a lot of hate from my friends because I have a letterbox but I never update it. And some of my friends studied film in college and they get really annoyed when I don't update and then update like 5 movies all at once. So I'm trying to be better. It's not going well. But I work from home a lot, so I kind of just like put movies on in the background. But I watched The Assistants. It's like an early 2000s movie about a whole bunch of like movie star and movie producer assistants and just kind of like assistants in Hollywood, and they put together this huge like scheme to make their own movie and get money for their own movie. And it's good, but the ending is really not what I wanted to happen. And then I also watched The Secret Life of Girls because it had Eugene Levy in it. Disturbing movie on so many levels, and I don't think it's supposed to be, but I wasn't expecting it. I thought it was going to be a comedy because it was listed under comedy, and I watched it and I don't think I laughed a single point in the whole thing, and I was just kind of like, oh, she's a 15-year-old girl and she's hitting on and getting hit on by a junior in college. Don't like it. And then I watched, and then there was like probably a 2-week break between these because I was like, wow, I'm watching a lot of movies. And then recently I watched Hacksaw Ridge, which is one of my favorite movies. And then I finished it and went, wow, okay, no, I remember why I haven't watched this movie since I watched it the first time. And it's such a good movie. If you haven't seen Hacksaw Ridge, watch that. I think there was one more that I didn't write down. I watched it yesterday. Oh my god, oh, it's got Dylan O'Brien in it. Send Help. It just came out. And it finally got put on streaming platforms. Can't remember which one. And I watched it, and another one where I really seemed to like going in blind, and like I didn't look it up, I didn't know what it was about, I didn't know what genre it was in, and turns out it's horror. It's like psychological horror about an employee and her boss getting stuck on an island in like I think it was like Thailand or like South Asia somewhere, where there's just like a whole bunch of tiny islands. It's really difficult to find people when planes crash, and so their plane crashed while they were on their way to a conference, and it turns out she's like batshit fucking crazy, but it's because she keeps getting taken advantage of, and like she got taken advantage of by her husband and by her boss and like her new employer, which is her old boss's son, and it's just like you don't want to root for her, and like by the end you're kind of like, wow, like I really wish she hadn't been so crazy because like I understand why she did the things that she did. But it's very good, and the ending is very abrupt too, which I was not expecting. Like I genuinely thought I had like half an hour of the movie left, and then I was like, oh, this is like the final scene and it's over. And so then I just kind of like sat there and was thinking about it for way too long. But yeah, so that's my kind of like April wrap up for media consumption. And on the docket for the next month, I want to finally finish The Odyssey because I basically put it down at the end of March and then haven't picked it up since. I'm finishing Armageddon as well. Or not Armageddon, oh my gosh, that's a movie. Agamemnon. And then I also want to read Intermezzo by Sally Rooney, because I've had a lot of people recommend it to me, and I've read Normal People and it was good, but I really struggle with her style of writing, so I don't know how this is gonna go because it's quite a bit thicker. Like it's a hefty book. And then I don't know, like the movies and TV shows and stuff kind of all just comes to me when it comes to me. Like I never like plan out watching stuff. And for audiobooks, I think I'm gonna listen to, there's one by Dan Jones on the Crusades that I really want to read or listen to. And then for my like writing stuff, I think there's a couple of YouTube videos that I have queued that I will be watching. And a lot of them are like, well, one of them is quite long, but it's about like kind of how broken the academic system is for like getting a PhD and getting funding and all of that stuff. And my brother actually sent that one to me, so I'm gonna watch that. And then I've got two other ones that are both by Brandon Sanderson, and they're on like world building and magic systems and fantasy, because I'm currently working on my own medieval fantasy novel, and I'm kind of getting a bit stuck with how to work the magic system into the story itself, because it is quite important, but I'm trying to decide whether or not I want it to be like a hard versus a soft magic system. So I'm gonna watch those videos, but I'm going on holiday until the 17th. Yeah, for like 2 weeks I'm gonna be on holiday in Japan, which I'm very excited about. So we'll see how much of this I actually get done, but hopefully it's more than April, because I had such big plans, and then this was my first full month working full-time too, which I didn't realize how much it would take out of me. Like it's so draining, which girl, you knew that it would be, but I kind of want to get back into my like reading and writing flow state, you know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you end up like watching or reading anything, like let me know that I recommend, obviously, or if you have anything that you think I would like, that would also be good, because I'm always at a loss for things to consume that don't cost money. I'm a big fan of the library. Like my copy of Frankenstein is from the library. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will, crossing my fingers, post another video soon. Bye.